What's an underrated health tip? Get your daily intake of vitamin D. It will have a profound impact on your quality of life. And GT, through UV exposure. See, I know you're absolutely right, but there's a part of me that thinks this just seems like an elaborate ploy from my mom to get me to get out of the basement more often. Vitamin D supplements are relatively cheap, don't involve UV damage to your skin, provide a standardized dose and aren't dependent on your geographical location or weather. Vitamin D regulates serotonin, and serotonin affects your mood and behavior. And AMP, #X200B. If you are going to have a foundation for any kind of health improvement, start with the D. The one I've given that have had a lot of positive feedback is that any exercise is better than nothing. For example, people set out to run a half hour, but then can only do 10 minutes and deem it a failure and it demotivates them. No, that's still a success. You still ran 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes more than sitting on the couch. So true. I have an injury right now preventing me from doing lots of types of exercise. But even a few dumbbell curls, or a few sit-ups is better than nothing. Get enough sleep. It's so important. But there's so much stuff I want to do with my day and never enough time to do it. People say this while they spend hours mindlessly doing something. If you're heavy and want to work out, swimming and recumbent biking are the easiest on your joints. The easiest thing to cut out of your diet for weight loss: anything you drink except water. I only drink water. That's the true way of the samurai. People in the office are astounded when I say I only drink water. But you must have 1 cup of coffee or something? Nope, just water. Spinach is better than lettuce. I do like me some spinach, especially in a store scattered sauteed, which is something that probably doesn't taste as good with lettuce. And GT, scattered. When trying to making permanent lifestyle changes to lose weight, slowly reducing your portions of food, beverages over time while introducing some enjoyable, tasty, healthy foods is more sustainable for long-term weight loss than going on a crash healthy foods only diet. On a crash diet, it's very likely you'll hit a mental or physiological breaking point where you say it and return back to your old unhealthy habits. This is great advice. As someone who went on a self-authored crash weight loss program, I lost 80 pounds in a little under 4 months, which you might think is great, and was a lot of hard work, that actually starts installing a lot of unrealistic expectations in your head. I still have the weight chart I kept, and some of my weight drops were just absurd. So when I got down from 225 to 140, for instance, I would get really depressed and angry with myself when I couldn't rapidly cut under 140. Eventually, I was so unhappy, I just threw away my scale and bet on myself to maintain healthy habits. I DK if it's underrated or if it maybe only worked for me, but quitting smoking drastically lifted my mood. You always hear smoking is unhealthy for your body yada yada, but I have never once heard someone talking about the impact on mental well-being. I used to be down pretty often, but since I quit smoking I haven't been depressed nearly as much as before. For the first time since forever I actually feel good about myself. I know quitting is hard for some, so it's easier said than done, but did it pay off? I have the strangest relationship with smoking. I go through a pack every 1.5 to 2 months. Sometimes, at the end of a really stressful day, it really does help me relax a bit at night to have a cig on the back porch. But it's not every night, and it's never been more than 1 per day. Bend your spine. The flexibility of your spine is the key to retarding the aging process. A few simple downward dogs, planks, and uttanasana performed every morning and before going to bed will do wonders for your posture. The more flexible your spine is, the better you will look and feel. Yoga and Pilates are the fountain of youth for people who don't mind a quick workout in the mornings. Also, you don't have to be a weightlifter to benefit from compound lifts. Deadlifts, squats, pull-ups and dips are so good for your back, even at modest weights. The lifting community tends to be geared towards young men who want hypertrophy and PRs, but the Big Five will benefit nearly anyone. Did you list 4 exercises and call it the Big Five, or am I missing something obvious? Fat-free or low-fat usually means lots of sugar. Always check the nutrition label. It's also a misconception that high-fat is bad. High-fat intake heavily consisting of saturated and trans fats is bad. This is usually paired with a high sodium, high cholesterol, high calorie intake. However, you do need a certain amount of saturated fat. A high intake of poly and monounsaturated fats plus a moderate amount of saturated fat from healthy sources is not bad. Flossing. I'm not much into dancing, but I'll take your word for it. You can't outrun your fork. Well, I mean, I do have more legs than my fork, unless you count the fork's teeth as legs. In that case I'm doomed. There's no way I'm outrunning that mother forkar. If you've recently been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, it's not too late. There are many steps you can take to essentially reverse the condition and prevent yourself from becoming a diabetic. Ask your healthcare provider about what you can do to prevent this. You don't have to eat breakfast foods for breakfast. A lot of breakfast foods are just bad for you and lack any nutritional value. Eat whatever you want. I guess it could be considered un-American, but I often eat steamed broccoli with my hard-boiled eggs for breakfast. Break the social construct of breakfast foods. Have enough sleep, drink water, eat sensibly, have or if no one is available, and you will be physically healthy, mentally happy, calmer, and look gorgeous too. Well, that's reassuring. By the end of the day your pee should be almost clear. Otherwise you're not drinking enough water and you're at risk of dehydration. This is a little game I play cause in the morning I take a vitamin B complex which makes my pee bright yellow, so I make sure it's completely clear before bed. Neon yellow pee. Do not take Tylenol, acetaminophen if you're hungover and want to get rid of that headache. When combined, they are toxic to the liver. Ibuprofen, Advil is a better choice. Also look at your cold medicines. There is acetaminophen in those 9/10 times too. Clean up your sleep hygiene. The quality of your sleep affects the rest of your day. A lot of people I've heard don't use screens an hour before bed, but for most it's not too realistic. The alternative is to buy a cheap pair of blue light blocking glasses. I have a reminder on my phone to put mine on at sunset. A few other things that have helped me are, use your bed only for sleeping, and, as much as possible, try to go to sleep at the same time each night. Take a warm shower, bath 60 to 90 minutes before bed to help your body cool down. Write down any hectic or lingering thoughts running through your head right before going to sleep. Use a REM-based alarm. It tracks your movement as you sleep. You set a 30 to 60 minute wake-up window, and the alarm will try to wake you at a point where you're sleeping the lightest. The app Sleep Cycle is the easiest way I know of to do this, but if you have the option to do so, I'd recommend setting a sleep-based alarm on a smartwatch or activity tracker, namely because this lets you charge your phone in another room. If your phone is on your nightstand, it's easy to snooze an alarm or wake up and immediately start browsing through apps. Consider investing in blackout curtains and smart lights. This lets you schedule a mimic sunrise. In the half an hour before you wake, you can program the lights ISO from a soft red to a yellow-white. Have a glass of water next to your bed to drink upon first waking up. NGT. The alternative is to buy a cheap pair of blue light blocking glasses. I have a reminder on my put mine on at sunset, or install F-Lux. And also have low color temperature light bulbs. Is less than or equal to 2800 K is usually optimal for the eyes. Drink more water. Soda is the worst thing you can drink. Few years ago I used to drink several cans of ginger ale daily and always had terrible acne and a pot belly. When I cut it out, my skin got better and I lost a lot of belly fat. After a few days the craving stops and you realize how disgusting soda really is. It's the sugar and refined carbs. It's always been them. I found myself opening my kids' box of Cocoa Puffs and eating them this morning. Yesterday I was drinking only water at work, eating a healthy diet with low sugar, and my body was screaming for sugar so bad that I convinced myself I had drank too much water like some 90s raver, and I found myself running to the store in the office park to get a Gatorade. I drank maybe like 100 ounces of water all day. That's no way that was possible, but sugar cravings will literally alter your thinking. Wash your damned hands. Not listening to other people's options of you. Wash your hands before eating or touching your face, and learn how to do it properly. The length of the birthday song, right? Can't be unhealthy if you are not alive. Now that's proper, out-of-the-box thinking. Slow and steady wins the race. I've seen too many people go on those magical diets that will make you look 10 years younger and lose all your belly fat, see some progress, and then burn out and gain all the weight back. Consistency is key. Factor in EMT response time when deciding where to live. Put sunscreen on. Your moisturizer should contain sunscreen. If it doesn't, buy some sunscreen and put that on before your moisturizer. Edit. Sorry, moisturize first, then sunscreen, then makeup. Early to bed, early to rise. It's not just a saying, but genuine healthy advice. Walk. Walk more. Walk like I do. My Mill one day decided she was going to take a walk every day, either around the neighborhood on mornings or during her lunch break at work. She looks younger now than when I met her 10 years ago. Thinner, clearer skin, and more energetic. This past summer she started riding a bike every day and got my fill in join her, all because of making the conscious choice to walk more 4 years ago. Excellent health tip. Warren Zevon method. Avoid the doctor. You can't be sick if you don't visit the doctor. First time he visits a doctor in 30 years and he finds out he is sick. Tell me that is a coincidence. Clearly the doctor's fault. Had he never went to the doctor, he'd probably still be here, making awesome music. 100 push-ups, 100 ups, 100 squats, and 10 kilometers running every single day. But losing your hair doesn't sound healthy. Don't do meth. Butt plugs help with rectal wall strength. Username is Nevermind. A whack a day keeps dysfunction away. Find an outlet, whether it's writing, talking to friends, family, or hiring a counselor, therapist. Get all the way down on the floor and back up a few times a day. Seems weird, but most adults stop doing this at some point. Keeps those muscle groups around and will help the falling, not getting back up problem when you are old. Gargling salt water when you're sick. Always wash your hands before you pick your nose. Don't want to catch a cold. Brush your teeth in the morning and before bed. Breathe. Sometimes. Probiotics. Having all the healthy bacteria can impact so much in your overall health. Intermittent fasting. I know it's hot right now, but it really has phenomenal benefits if you do it right. I fast for 3 hours in between meals. Does that count? Psyllium husks, or any other fiber. 2 teaspoons a day and you will enjoy shitting again. No toilet paper needed anymore. Yeah, everyone still use toilet paper. Don't listen to this guy. Don't stick in and crazy. Oil your hair. A lot of people need to wash their hair often due to activity. Hair loses a lot of natural oils after it's washed. On a similar note, moisturize. And the Doctor Who fans have recoiled. Pizza is a vegetable. Sleep in water. Lack of sleep is like not putting gas in your car. Lack of water is like a wilted flower. Drink plenty of water. Washing one's hands. Very important, not executed enough. Actually try to taste the food you're eating. Doing that has gotten me to actually appreciate indulgences instead of just shoving food items into my gullet. Stand up straight. Maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but as a woman with a large chest and a curvy body, sometimes I actually have to remind myself to stand up straight. My whole body feels better when I remember to do this.